Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Set this up right. This guy should be going on too. Okay, we're about 10 minutes, about 5 minutes out.
Welcome to Cowles Fieldhouse on the campus of Simpson College in beautiful downtown Indianola, Iowa. This is Mike Burns coming to you from St. Paul, Minnesota, with my good friend and colleague Jesse Kitzen-Abelson coming to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We'll be your host tonight as we watch this historic competition between this young Simpson College team, first year competing against the Naval Academy. Let's listen to the national anthem. Play ball. You know, Jesse, every time I hear that song, I get a little bit choked up. It's an emotional song for me, and I hope you feel the same way as we get ready to start another great sporting event here in the great United States of America.
I sure do, Mike. I sure do. I really appreciate being in this country, being an American. And for me, I also just associate it with nervousness, and it's time to compete now. And that's exactly what's about to happen with these gymnasts. So that's my association with it. But yeah, great to be here with you, Mike. And I just saw you last weekend in Illinois, and we're going to have a lot to say about each program, each coach, as the meet unfolds today. So I'm excited.
Yeah, this is a really great opportunity for both of us to see these two teams compete. They're both on spring break this week, and the Naval Academy team has been out there training with the Simpson College guys all week, and I think it's been a really great opportunity for them to, kind of bond as individual teams, but also bond together when they train together in a training situation. So, as you may or may not know, the coaches from the Naval Academy, Kip Simons, Craig Holt, and Michael Reed. And for this particular competition, Kip Simons will not be here. He's actually over in Stuttgart, Germany, with one of his gymnasts who made the national team, and he's competing with Team USA. And the head coach for the Simpson Storm is Kip's former assistant coach, Colin Payne. So there's a great connection here between these two programs. There goes Colin walking in front of the camera right now. So best of luck to both coaches and both programs tonight as we get started with our first competitor on the floor exercise. It looks like this is going to be Kyle Kincade getting things rolling for the Simpson Storm. The first guy up on every routine is really kind of the critical guy, I think, in terms of the lineup and making sure that you can start out the meet, start out that particular event, if you will, with a hit set. And really, that's the kind of the momentum starter or the momentum killer. So let's hope that Kyle can put together a good routine here, and he seems to be doing a nice job thus far, doing some really high-level tumbling skills and going into his non-acro skill right now is press to handstand. This is where you've got to really kind of settle down and have that very steady handstand position, which he's doing a great job. Oh, and right into a stalled roll. So a little hesitation there, and that'll be probably a judge's just joyful time when a judge can take that deduction, right?
Good.
Nice
You can see this
job.
guy's bouncing. He likes the front tumbling and mixed it with the non-acro to get his heart rate back down a little bit and gearing up probably for the dismount pretty soon.
So long routine. On the floor exercise, you have a maximum 75 seconds to fit all this gymnastics in. And he just finished up his dismount. He didn't hear a bell ring, so he must have got it in time. So that's good. That was a great start for Simpson, getting right out of the blocks with a hit set. He had a little bit of a low chest landing on that dismount. That'll incur a little bit of a deduction, but I think Coach Colin Payne and Matt Raints are going to be happy with that guy starting things off for them.
Oh, yeah, you can tell. You can see the gymnast himself is happy. He's giving his high fives, and he did exactly what you said, Mike. He started the meet off for his guys, no falls, and hit right through.
Well, as a coach, you know, when you're putting your lineup together, again, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you want to always get the things rolling with a hit set. So obviously Kyle's the guy that has been hitting sets in practice, and they felt really comfortable. Looks like he's going to have a pretty high, decent start value. He's got some high level of difficulty in that routine. Dismounted with a C dismount, so we'll have a little bit of a lesser element group value there. But again, a solid set to get started. And here we go. First guy for Navy's going. Coach Colin Payne was kind of making it a little hard for us to see, but he started with that double front and then a double Arabian, so he's having a good start with some high-level difficulty as well for this young man. And this is Danilo Viciani. Is that how you say his name, Jesse?
You know what? I mean, that's a good guess. I think when Danilo watches the post game later, he should send us an email and say if we got it right or wrong.
Indeed.
I think
it's that non-acro skill again, the press to handstand. He does the exact same sequence that Kyle did, where he did the press to handstand then into the stalled roll to get two B value skills there.
Yeah, you can really see Danilo's lines. He's got crisp, straight, arms and legs are nice and straight. Floor is minimizing those steps, so every landing is kind of like a dismount. They might step, they might stick. There's a small little bobble there, but he definitely has the nice lines.
Yeah, he's looking solid. I think it's going to be a great competition on this first event. There's a D-level dismount for Danilo, so he's going to get the full value for the element group, but he took a pretty large step there. And that's probably going to be about a 3/10 deduction for the step, maybe a 1/10 deduction for lack of prep for the landing. So, the scores will be, they'll probably be somewhere in the range of 1.2 to 1.5 to 1.8 in deductions. And I think that's pretty typical in a routine like this. And, these guys are moving fast. This is Milo Staley coming up next for the Simpson Storm.
Yeah, you're right. These judges are really ripping through, and you were there a couple weeks ago judging them, weren't you, Mike?
I was. Yeah, we had a try meet. Oh, that's a big stumble. Not only did he put his hands down, but he also went out of bounds. So that's gonna set him back a little bit in the scoring. But let's see if we can kind of minimize the bleeding and put a Band-Aid on this thing and get it back where he needs to be. When you have a mishap in a routine like that. There's usually this emotional spike that the gymnast will have, and the key to getting back on track is to try to take that emotional spike and bring it back down to a flat line level. And that's a tough thing to do because, you practice with the idea that everything's, hopefully going to be as close to perfect as you can make it. But we all know that perfection is pretty fleeting, right? So you got to be able to just minimize your deductions and try to reduce them as best you can, and, never really eliminate them completely, which would be a nice way to go. But then there would no need to come to practice every day if everything was perfect all the time, right?
That's exactly right, Mike. I have to train so much all the time. That was a high difficult set. That was really nice. He had that Randy at the beginning, which was 2.5 twists. He had multiple double flips. So props on, really, there's a lot to say about Simpson and the talent they recruited immediately. That just shows you they filled this team up with 13 freshmen, I think 15 guys in total. And they got some serious difficulty. It's quite remarkable. I'm going to be thinking about this the whole meet, that we're watching a meet at Simpson, brand new gymnastics program. Shout out to John Robinson and the Pictor group. There's a lot at play here. We have Team Virtius that has created this platform coming out of the COVID era. So it's an exciting meet, and we're happy to watch these kids do their gymnastics.
Absolutely. Think about this. Just a short year and a half ago, this gym had no inkling that there would be gymnastics going on, let alone having the Naval Academy fly all the way in from Annapolis to spend a week here and compete against the Simpson College Storm gymnastics team. And
right.
And then Colin Payne comes off the Naval Academy campus and comes all the way out here to Indianola, Iowa to build this thing from scratch. And I give him a ton of credit. Him and his wife Emily, who's the coach for the women's team here as well. And wow, that's some big tumbling right
that's
there.
That's a big
on
move.
This guy from the Naval Academy. Yes, indeed. This is Aaron Stein, second guy up for the Naval Academy on floor exercise, and boy, he's got some.
This might be Buradagunta. Now let's look at the third guy up. Is it Aaron or Syam?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because they're going so fast.
Yeah.
But if it is, we'll see. But Syam is 20th in the country. If this is the correct routine.
Nice combination tumbling there. It looks like he's getting geared up for his dismount. Let's see what he does here. Wow.
Oh, good stuck landing. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think that was Aaron Stein. We'll make sure we get
that was a great finish, man. I tell you what, when the judge sees a stuck dismount, especially a stuck dismount of such high level of difficulty, and just nails it like that, and the green flag goes up, that's something that really gets the team bench charged up. And it's, when you're a gymnast, you're out there all by yourself. It's very much of an individualistic sport, but college gymnastics is different because you have the strength and the energy and the just all of that kind of boiled down into what's going on. You're going out there as an individual, but your team is behind you and they have your back the entire time. And you can feel that energy flowing through the gym when you're out there. And I tell you what, when he stuck that dismount, that entire team bench just jumped for joy.
Mm-hmm. You can hear it too. That was indeed Aaron Stein.
Oh, that was a great opening skill for this is Michelangelo Villani. Oh, he came up short on that double back. That's a shame. He had a little donkey kick there. His ankles are probably barking at him right now, and he's like, I got 3 more passes to do. Holy smokes. Look at that.
But you know what? He can't feel it. He can't feel it. He's got the emotions going, the adrenaline going. He's carrying on.
He'll feel it by the time they get to rings, I bet.
I think you're right. But right now he's got a job to do.
He does have a job to do, and that's the beauty of sports. You just you gotta get tough at times, even though your body may not feel like it's time to be tough. Oh, that's going to be a decision by the judges whether or not he held it for at least a second to get credit. So I hope he did. Nice combo pass.
Yeah, he does have that split though.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. His ankles are still working. Hopefully it's not too much of a shock, but well done from Michelangelo for getting that set done after that first pass not going great.
Yeah, he's running back to the team bench with some enthusiasm. So even though he kind of came up a little short in that double back, I think he's pretty tough. He's put together pretty well, that kid.
Gotta say, great name as well. Michelangelo Villani, great name.
Absolutely. You'd think he was, sculpting some sort of a masterpiece in the Renaissance.
All right, so who
do we have now
the
here?
Navy team?
Yeah, I think this is Syam Buradagunta.
Oh, yes, this definitely is. This definitely is.
Yes, indeed.
Yep, he's ranked 20th in the country right now, so that's really saying something.
Nice. He's got that right ankle taped up, so he probably took a little stumble one time during practice, and he's going, yeah, my ankle's a little sore, but I'm going to just do one for the team here.
Wow.
Nice
he
landing.
really knows how to punch the floor.
He does, and he's very he's absorbing his landings nicely. He's not like rebounding out of them. He knows where the floor is. He's got great air sense, and he's really showing off this routine. I think this is obviously a reason he's in the top 20 in the country in this event. Wow, that's a lot of gymnastics to do with a side pass.
Good. He's comfortable. He's just composed and doing pass by pass. Gets the breath. You know, every event, every pass has a rhythm to it, and he's in the rhythm.
That was a really nice routine. You know, he had a couple of small steps on a few of his landings, but you could see he really knew how to absorb the floor exercise when he landed, and he was really minimizing his landing deductions. And you said this earlier on this event. You know, minimizing the landing deductions is the key to big scores on this event. And, you know, if you can do a routine where you stick every single pass, what do they call that? I think they have a name for that. What is it called? The golden sombrero? I believe that's what they call it. And
I've not heard this before, but I like this.
No, it's and you know, you'll see it once in a blue moon when somebody sticks all 6 or 7 passes, however many they're doing. And when it happens, it is going to be a big old score, I tell you.
All right, so next up we have, this is Sterling Pariza.
Yes, it is.
And, you know, talking to Coach Collin yesterday, he said this guy is en route to qualifying to the qualifying to the NCAA regional in the all-around. So he's hitting them all 6 events, and he must be doing a great job. So he's one of the main guys to watch today.
That's awesome. It's so good to see this team, you know, who, again, didn't really exist last year, and all of a sudden you got kids that are good enough to qualify to the NCAA qualification round. That's a feather in the cap of Simpson College gymnastics, I tell you.
Yeah.
These guys are looking really polished. I said, you know, I was down there for a competition several weeks ago, like you mentioned earlier, judging, and since then, they've cleaned their act up quite a bit. Not that they were sloppy back then, but I can see that the 3 weeks of training since that last meet, they've really put together some polishing of their gymnastics. And yeah, a little stumble on that landing, but boy, that was a good set. That back double full earlier where he just stuck it cold. It was really nice to see that beautiful absorption of the floor and the legs. And when you start to figure that out, that's when gymnastics gets fun. Not that it's not fun, but you know, when you can force the judges to just drop their pencil and go, I got nothing. That's when gymnastics is really fun to watch too.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we got Ian Dinmore up now for the Naval Academy. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. Going for a connection bonus. Got the whip to the back 2.5, so gets a little +1 for that one.
Yes, indeed, but he also got minus a bunch for that low landing and that big hop to the side. So this is the kind of stuff that Navy needs to be sure they don't do if they want to be sure they stay ahead of Simpson. You know, they're coming in here ranked 9th in the country as a team, and Simpson is ranked 15th. So, you know, on paper, the Naval Academy should win this meet. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I love the story of David and Goliath and how that young little kid just took his little slingshot and took the giant down, right? So Simpson College could do that, you know, and if they just stay tight and strong and focused on what their goal today is, which is to hit a lot of routines, and Navy maybe falters a little bit, you'd be surprised what could happen.
That's right. And what better place to do that at home?
In their final meet of the year, yeah. Big finish here.
Okay, a couple of big steps there.
Okay. Well, you know, those are the points that you don't like to give away. You know, I always tell my guys when I'm coaching, I said, every time you start your routine, you have 10 points in your pocket. Now, how much of that are you going to let that judge pickpocket out of your pocket? Because you got to keep as much of that 10 points as possible. If you're going to give away 5 points, you didn't do your job. If you're going to give away 1 point, you've done a much better job. So you got to be sure you keep all those points in your pocket.
And here's the thing is, these guys do 5 up, 5 count. No matter what you do, no matter who you are in the lineup, everything counts in the team score. Nothing gets discarded, like on the women's side or the Gym Act side. Everything you're watching today, it counts for the team score.
That's some serious pressure. All right, looks like we have Camden Bontempo right now. That was a beautiful front handspring to a Randy. Yeah, look at this guy. He's got some serious spring in those legs.
Oh, yeah. He's a Pennsylvania guy. He came from the Pittsburgh North Stars.
Oh my God, they're known for serious tumbling. Look at this guy. All these guys from Simpson getting ready to head over to Pommel Horse. They're walking right in front of the camera. Come on, this looks like the struggle spot maybe for Camden, but he knocks it out of the park and holds that handstand like a solid champ. Well done, my friend.
There you go. And like you said, Mike, these guys are, this is the last regular season meet before postseason happens. So they're getting, it's culminating. They're going to get to the ECAC championships pretty soon.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Devious map, but yeah, a couple of big steps.
Before they go to the ECAC championships next week, I believe it's next week, they have the USAG Collegiate Championships, which will be up at Springfield College. And this will be the first time with Simpson and Greenville as well, the other upstart program this year over at Greenville University, Illinois. These two new programs will be in the USAG Collegiate Championships for the first time. And it's going to be kind of cool because Springfield will be there too. So these three Division III teams, Simpson, Greenville, and Springfield. Well, actually, Springfield will finally have a like-minded program to compete against with two other Division III schools. So it's kind of a cool moment. Wow, that was a big boy tumbling skill. Round off back handspring, tuck double. Wow, came up a little bit short, took a big 3/10 step, but he's looking here. Oh my gosh, this guy has some great air
He's got
sense.
that round off drilled into the floor to send him up. He knows how to block it. This guy's ranked 15 in the country on floor. So he's here to play. He's here to make a statement this year, and I'm sure another one to watch in the postseason. His name is Connor Van Loo.
Oh, that was
sneaky
nice.
Little way to get rid of extra steps, right, Mike? He just punched into the next skill.
That's smart coaching. That Kip Simons, he's been known to be a smart coach. Oh, had a little bobble on that press to handstand. Come on, you guys can't be doing that. All right, so this is the kind of guy that's probably going to become some sort of a naval aviator because he's going to be doing barrel rolls and all kinds of crazy loop-de-loops in a plane because, look, he's already doing it right here on the floor. All he needs is a plane to wrap around him, and let's get going.
Yeah. Wow, there you go. He's not going to get lost in the air, that's for sure.
I tell you what, that was a high-powered routine. That's a routine that could be All-American status at the NCAA championships. That's how good that set was. That was really impressive. Now the key to making that All-American step, though, is you got to eliminate some of those big landing deductions like you had on the mount, and had a little bit of a step on that back 3.5, a second pass. But wow, that was some high-powered gymnastics. I tell you what, that was a fun event to watch. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we only had one small mishap. Was that donkey kick on a double back? Who was that? Was that Michelangelo? Was that Sterling? I can't remember who that was.
I believe it was Michelangelo. Yeah.
Okay,
I think we need another score to pop in from Navy though here.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah. So it looks like Simpson has a team score of 60.75, and the Naval Academy is a 53.15. But that last final score that we're waiting for from Connor Van Loo, that was Connor Van Loo, right? Who just went?
Yes, it was. It was indeed.
Yeah, so we're waiting on that score from the judges. But as you said earlier, these judges are smoking fast today. And they're using the 2D panels judging format where the two E judges are judging every routine and the D judges are alternating routines. So it's a much quicker format. And it's great to be able to go to head like this where you, like the first guy up on floor from Simpson and the first guy up on floor from the Naval Academy, they have to figure out who's going to beat, did I beat my guy? And if I beat my guy, I did my job in this event. So that's what I love about the head-to-head format. You actually know who you have to beat, and you got to go out and beat them. And it looks like that final score just came in, and looks like the Naval Academy now has a 66.15 on the floor exercise, and they have a 5.4 point lead over Simpson with their 60.75. So I think, I don't have the start values in front of me, and I wasn't judging them, but it looks like the Naval Academy is probably a little bit advantage on the start value side. And Syam Buradagunta Looks like the champion on floor exercise with a 13.65, and then his teammate Aaron Stein is second place with a 13.4. And Sterling Pariza from Simpson takes third place with a 13.25. Good for you, Sterling. Keep up the good work. And, the Naval Academy has a little bit of a lead here, but hey, guess where we're going? We're going to the pommel horse.
Oh, yeah. You never know what's going to happen with the pommel horse. You got to always treat the horse well. We'll see how they treated this horse over spring break. If they were nice to it, took it out for dinner, all that good stuff. But, yeah, let's see. Let's check out the stats. I believe Navy is ranked 11th on pommel horse. And, yes, that's correct. So they're it's one of their weaker events for sure, but not bad. And let's see if we can bring up Simpson's in a moment. I have to look for it. Simpson, yes, Simpson. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be if they can stay on. That's the key, right, Mike?
Yes, indeed. Well, this is where I got to sit 3 weeks ago, judging the pommel horse. So we'll see how these guys do tonight.
Yeah.
First up for the Naval Academy is William Champagne. I hope he gets to pop the cork after this routine. So he's doing some nice B-level skills that are going to get him some nice difficulty. Now he's doing his cross support travels across the horse. This is an area the judges love to see gymnasts do because they go, I can take some big deductions from this guy because of his skew. Oh, boy.
All right, Mike, you're the judge. You were judging a couple weeks ago. What are you doing with that dismount? The FIG really changed the rules here, and they're not taking any nonsense.
I didn't have any problem giving him credit for the handstand. He went up with a little bit of hesitation, but it went up pretty decently. Now the pirouette, he was trying to go down and back to increase the value of that handstand from a B up to a D value skill, which he needs to have to get full credit for the element group. Now, that last pirouette, he was kind of hovering like like a high wire act, right? And he struggled a little bit, but I think he fell on the right side of the horse to give him the credit for it. But he's going to get a pretty sizable deduction.
Right. Now, next up we have, this is Michelangelo, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to do another artistic approach here on pommel horse. Look at that, now, double Russian. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, there we go. Now, okay, so 2 weeks ago, Michelangelo had a little trouble with that dismount, and we did not give it credit. So he had to go up and repeat the dismount. So tonight, though, he did it. He had a little bit of arm bend, a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of strength on that swing move. But I would be really hard-pressed to not give that credit. And I hope the judges that are sitting there understand that. And I think they're going to give him the credit for it tonight. And I see Dan Bachman sitting there, who was a former gymnast of mine back at the University of Iowa many, many years ago. And he just came back this past 2 summers ago from judging the Olympic Games. So it was fun to get him started in judging back in the late 80s. And he's really made a name for himself in the judging circles. Okay, so who do we have here? We have Danilo Viciana.
Yes, we do.
So when I watch pommel horse, go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah. So I was getting these stats earlier. I didn't finish mentioning it. Now, if Simpson hits their best, they're only a couple points different from Navy from their best. So we have to really see if this could be close. If Simpson is onto their game today.
Yep. Okay. He ran into a few problems there. And the thing about pommel horse, and we mentioned this earlier about having those emotional spikes if you have kind of a little bit of a mishap during your routine. And he had a mishap in his routine, but he was able to keep going. And, pommel horse is an event that requires a huge level of precision. And what you need to be able to do to be good on pommel horse is a couple of things to be able to be good on pommel horse. You got to be able to swing well, obviously. But you also need to be able to train your skills in such a way that you have a wide range of variation where you can still successfully complete the skill. So he was way off, which gives him, which tells me he had a wide range of variation on his ability to do the skill. And he was still able to make it, so that's good. He's been trained well in the gym, he's probably had moments like that, and he's fought through them. So when it happens in a meet, it wasn't an unfamiliar situation. Well, that was a really
That's the
nice
Sterling
scissor.
Pariza up on pommel, and he is that one to watch today, shooting for that all-around spot at the NCAA qualifiers. And great swing for starters. Yeah, short and sweet. Come on, finish it.
Oh, come on, attaboy. Had a little hesitation on the swing the handstand, but he didn't come back down, which was good. Because if your feet come back down at all,
say that.
and that's the death toll. You gotta be taking your 30 seconds and chalking up and having your coach say, make sure you do it again, but do it better this time.
That's right.
Have you had those moments, Jesse, when you have to go talk to your gymnast who fell off and he's over at the chalk bucket and he's still, maybe his head was rattled from missing a release move or something, and you're over there going, what do you tell a kid in that moment? Because he's rattled, obviously, right?
Right. And first thing is you want to just say you got 30. You want to take the 30 seconds. We always want to hop up real quick, but breathe, get your nerves in check, relax for a moment. Let's reset it, and you should be fresher by the time you hop back up.
Yep, it's tough. But this is Vishal Mandava coming up. He looks like he's got a good pommel horse frame and build here. So let's see how he does.
Let's see if you're right, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I watch pommel horse, especially when they're doing pommel skills, I always look at how they grab the pommel and how much motion there is in their wrist. You want to have a solid grip on the pommel, but you also want to have some ability to kind of massage the pommel, if you will. Oh, man, we were just talking about that. Poor Vishal. He's getting the conversation from his assistant coach, Michael Reed, who is a former NCAA pommel horse champion. This guy, Michael Reed, right there on the left, amazing pommel horse guy. So he's obviously bringing his knowledge and skill on the pommel horse to the team here at the Naval Academy. Unfortunately, Vishal had that fall. That's going to cost the team a full point, which, as you said earlier, if Simpson can put it all together, and there's a few flounders here and there, it could be closer than they'd want it to be.
There we go. Good finish.
Yep.
Stuck the landing. Because sometimes those pommel dismounts, man.
They can get out of control a little bit in those pirouettes. And he was a little bit out of the handstand as he was finishing that pirouette, and he kind of crashed a little bit to the floor, but he was able to maintain a good solid landing. When you do have a mishap like that, it's really important that you put it behind you instantly, and that's a really hard thing to do because you're upset at yourself. You feel like you let yourself and the team down, and it's like they're counting on you. But you gotta put that out of your mind instantly. And for all you young kids who are learning how to compete, learning how to deal with the adversity that gymnastics gives us, you just gotta put it behind you. Okay, this is Alex Catchpole.
Correct.
And he's got a nice little swing going on here. Okay, that's Savato. Oh man, that's the second guy that the Savato ate alive. And the key to a good Savato is you got to maintain that circular consistency as you're traveling. And as you start to travel, the circle starts to fall apart a little bit, and you saw what happens. You run into a horse, and you're taking your 30 seconds. And you just got to maintain the integrity of the circle throughout these skills. And since he didn't finish that skill, he has to repeat it. And he's going, really, right. Coach? You want me to do it again? Yeah. Okay, so sometimes you make a call as a coach to make him repeat a skill, and sometimes you don't. And you don't know until you're done whether or not it's a good idea or not.
Come on, there we go. So he just needed to get up and finish, get the element groups done, get enough skills to count. And I don't know about you, Mike. I don't know what you looked like on a horse back in your day. I remember having some meets where I fell 4 times in a college meet, and I just couldn't seem to finish the routine. And you really do get flustered on horse. It's such a different event from anything else. We just watched floor where you run and jump and you're powerful. Pommel, you have to be composed. It's an arm-based event, and you have to be really precise. So it's just a different. It sounds like a silly statement, but it's a different animal.
It really is. It's kind of like that routine you just described where you fell off 4 times, you couldn't do anything. It's kind of like one of those dreams you have when you're running away from somebody. You keep stumbling and you can't get up, and they're going to catch you, right? It's just a bad nightmare all the way through. So here we got Ian Dinmore coming up. Nice job on those scissors. Got a little scrape on his leg as he finished each of them, but I think that'll be a pretty minimal deduction. Oh, that's a nice Roth with a teeny little split at the end, but that's good stuff.
Yeah. So, Mike, what's really going to set these guys apart? You know, we're talking championship season coming pretty soon. What's going to set the guys apart aside from you have to stay on the horse? There's more to it than that.
Well, you got to be able to hit your handstand at the end of your set right there, first of all. Now, the other thing, I don't know if you noticed this, Jesse, but he did a Savado, which is a skill that kind of killed the last two guys, right? But as he finished the Savado, he turned out to a side circle a little bit too soon. So I'm not sure if the judges caught that, but I'm going to tell you, Kip Simons and Michael Reed, that he should do an extra hand placement at the end of that Savado before he turns to the side circle, because if I'm judging, I'm not going to give you credit for the full Savado.
Yep, and you see he did not get credit for the dismount, which is why he is redoing it properly. And this is the only event you can actually redo a dismount on, so you got the job done there.
You know, going back to, I think it was Alex's routine that we just had with the two falls. You know, when you're in a 5-up, 5 count scenario, 2 falls is really hard to swallow. And that's one of the things. You know, if you have a fall, you have to be sure it doesn't turn into a 2-fall missed routine, because those 2 points of falls count against your team as opposed to just the 1 from the first fall. So it's really important to get back to that whole mindset about the emotional spike that you have when something goes wrong. And you got to get yourself back on track as soon as possible, because you just don't have a lot of time. There's no stops like on P-bars or rings where you can actually do an L-seat or a handstand. You got to keep moving, and that's the beauty and the curse of this event. So this is Ethan Sipos. Okay, I guess what skill's coming up right now?
Oh, it's the Savado.
The Savado. Okay, he had a little trouble there. He lost a little integrity of his circle, but he was able to stay on, get that handstand up, and looked like he was going to try to do the other extra pirouette, but he kind of knew it wasn't going to work, so he bailed out. He made a really smart executive decision at the right exact perfect moment.
Yes.
That was a great move. That was knowing your capabilities and no one went to just say, okay, I'm not going to be able to make that. Let's just bail out, get the C dismount rather than the D. That was a smart move.
It's hard to do that. It's hard to go for the down and back pirouette and go.
It's really hard.
Not gonna work, because he pulled it off well. It didn't really have a rhythmical error. So good job.
It really did. All right, so it looks like we got Syam Buradagunta. I'm going to get this by the end of the meet.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to email us later, too, and let us know if we said it right.
He might give us a call instead of an email.
Yeah, that's probably better. We can hear the voice. All right, maybe he's getting pretty pumped here. Here's the pommel anchor. Let's see what Mr. Buradagunta puts up.
He looks like he's built the pommel horse, doesn't he? He's got that long, lanky build. He's swinging solid and extended. He's going to look really nice up there.
It's all about the Savado, apparently, right?
Apparently so tonight, yeah. Nice Tong Fei. Very nice swing here. He's got there's a Savado. No problems on that one. That was nice. He did it before the Mega. Maybe that's the secret. Let's see if we can get this triple Russian up. Oh, that's not even his dismount. Here's his dismount. Look at that. That was a beautiful handstand.
Great set.
That's the way a handstand's supposed to go up. Wow, very nicely done, Syam. Yeah, that was a good finish for the Naval Academy on pommel horse. You know, when you have a few mishaps during the lineup, it's really nice to be able to leave the event with a solid hit set like he just gave you.
That's right. So carry that momentum into the next one.
Yeah, Milo Staley's the last guy up for the Simpson Storm. So he's going to have to get this storm brewing and just take control of this event. I want him swinging so fast that the pommel horse starts to hover a little bit.
Now, it could happen. I know Coach Colin Payne yesterday said Milo's really increased his difficulty from a year ago. Actually, you know what? This looks like a different gymnast. This looks like Mr. Catchpole, judging by his uniform, unless they switched uniforms. You never know. Maybe if I got his uniform and they switched, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the lineup that we got yesterday has been switched a little bit. That does happen sometimes. So apologies to all the guys that were announcing the wrong names to. But yeah, it looks like Catchpole was on the back of his jersey. All right. Well, that was I'd have to call that a hit set. Wouldn't you call that a hit set there, Jesse?
Oh, for sure, for sure. That was definitely a hit set. Stayed on, got his dismount credit, and like you said, Simpson can finish this event on a good note, and now everybody shifts to rings.
There we go. Well, it's 2 events down. It looks like the Naval Academy may be pulling ahead a little bit. We're still waiting on one score for the looks like one score for Simpson on the scoreboard here. That 58.9 for the Naval Academy. That's probably a little bit below their average. What's their average for the year on pommel horses is 63, and their high for the year is a 64.2. So that's a little bit down. They did have a couple of mishaps like we talked about. So, that happens in this sport. And the key thing to remember during a competition like this is there's a whole lot more gymnastics still to do. And, if you have if you have an event that's a little bit of a struggle, you just got to find a way to put it behind you and start fresh. You're starting at a 0 again when you get to the next event, and just get up there and, going to an event like rings, which is, I'd have to say, on all the events, it's the hardest one to miss. And I hate to say that, maybe jinx somebody, but it's probably the hardest one to miss because you're stable. You get to do stops during the middle of your routine and strength moves and L seats and handstands and whatnot. And unless you have a real mishap with your grip or something like that, you're probably going to hit your routine. So then it's just a matter of how well you hit it. Whereas on pommel horse, like we said earlier, there's a lot of precision involved. And it's easy to get off a little bit, and when you get off a little bit, it can turn into a bit of a disaster. And a few guys unfortunately had that happen. But as a team, you absorb those things and you move on and you try to find a way to, stop the bleeding, as we mentioned earlier, right?
That's exactly right, Mike. So
it looks like Syam was the winner here. Yeah, with a 12.65. Boy, that's some pretty tough judging. That was a pretty good routine.
It is.
I know.
It is. I mean, he did a lot of great gymnastics, and it's still a 12.65.
Well, this is getting down to crunch time near the end of the season, and as a coach, you have to make some decisions about routine construction. Are you going to keep the routine as is? Are you going to maybe pull something out that's a skill that's maybe a little questionable? But if you do that, then you're losing some start value. So you got to kind of have a balance there in terms of how you're going to be able to, beat the opposition. So it looks like we're getting started here on the steel rings.
Yeah, this is Connor Jenkins.
Displaying some ring strength. This is kind of the event that's for the strong guys in the world of gymnastics. And you also have to swing, though. So, a lot of strong guys sometimes have some tight shoulders and makes it difficult to swing. But Connor seems to be doing pretty good in the swing department and in the strength department. Now, he kind of swung that press to handstand, so the judges are probably going to be a little bit scolding in him in terms of their deductions. Pretty decent shoot to handstand. Small step on the half in, half out dismount. And Coach Matt Reitz has given him a big clap and pat on the back for getting through a nice set as a starting guy on the lineup there.
Yeah, great way to start. And you know, really, what I tell my gymnasts is the handstands are a lot of where the deductions come from. So I think we'll have to pay attention to that today. If you see the gymnast touching the straps, bending the arms, swinging in the handstand, being unstable, that really accumulates a lot of deductions. So I think that's going to add up here, and we'll see how that plays out on rings.
You know, as a college coach, one of the things that has been a constant piece of work that we all have to do is developing good, strong handstand positions on the still rings. It's a couple of year process when kids come in as freshmen who haven't really mastered it yet, you know, and it takes a lot of strength, a lot of dedication, a lot of time and effort to be sure your handstands are places where you're not going to be, it's not going to be the breeding ground of deductions.
And this is Aaron Stein from Navy up now.
Oh, that was a snappy kip to L, wasn't it?
Sure
you know what that was? That was like some snap, crackle, pop. It looks like somebody put some milk on some bowl of Rice Krispies there.
That could be what he had for breakfast today.
Look at that press to handstand with the rings turned out and no arms on the straps. That's what you were just talking about, Jesse. And, you know, a little bit of bobble there, but he's really got good control. He spent some time working on his handstand. He has mastered the craft.
Oh, stuck D dismount.
Yes, indeed.
That'll
now, I
pump your
guess the
team up.
question is, let me ask you this question, Jesse. You said stuck D dismount. Now, that was a full twist and double layout, but he was pretty piked in those hips. So, are the judges going to give him a D and then take off 3 to 5/10 for over piking it? Or are they going to give him a C and take no deduction for position? Either way, he's going to get a
great
stuck dismount bonus. And that was pretty egregious in the hips. Sorry for bringing that up.
You're right.
But, you know, I would have a conversation with my judging compatriots there at the table and go, what do you think? So the D judge right now, who's doing that routine, is probably having that little kind of internal conversation with himself.
Yes. Now this is Milo Staley, and he was the gymnast that was really beefed up his difficulty from last year.
Yeah, he's looking like he's got good control of those rings. Now he's very crisp looking. Look at that press to handstand. All right, a little bit of elbow bend. Okay, but pretty solid handstand there. He's not bobbling around. Let's see if he goes to the shoe. The shoot to handstand killed him. It gobbled him up alive, and there was no hold. Okay, so that's going to be. Then the judges are going to go, do we give credit for the shoot to handstand, which is 3/10 requirement? Interesting.
Making those judges think today.
Yes, they are. You know, the judges are earning their honorarium today. That's too bad, because that shoot to handstand, not only is it a 3/10 requirement, but it's also, you know, it's a C-level skill, and it's element group 1. And if you bend your arms, you're going to get a deduction. If you don't hit the handstand, you're going to get a deduction, and you didn't hold it. So, it's a breeding ground of deductions, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And, you know, the guys who can hit those handstands without any movement, boy, oh boy, they're going to get rewarded in the score department. Another pretty crispy kip to L seat. That was nice.
Yeah, this is Danilo Viciana.
I like that name.
Well, you can't have it. you got to stick with your name, Mike Burns.
I guess I'll stick with it. Nice work on those Yamawaki sequence into the back of press straddle L, press to handstand. He's getting a little tired right now, it looks like. He maybe should have had some Wheaties instead of Rice Krispies this morning. But that was a sweet.
No, I think he's back on track.
I totally think he's back on track.
You know what it is? He's got to open up his shoulders. Okay.
Yep. So the beautiful thing about that is he had his swing to handstand with the beautiful front giant. It looked like he was trying to do a second shoot to handstand, but he overshot it a little bit. And instead of trying to fight it, he just said, well, I'll just turn this C move into a B move, get a dislocate, and go right into my dismount. Again, sometimes you got to make these decisions on the fly, and that's good gymnastics, but it's based on good coaching. I think is what that's all about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, it's not. It's a sport that you have to think through every skill you do, but at the same time, you have to find a way to compete with your mind kind of free and blank and open to just letting the sport happen as opposed to trying to force it. And that's a tough balance in our sport.
Okay, this is Mr. Catchpole from Simpson.
Seeing a lot of snappy kips today. I'm liking it. Oh, V-sit on the rings. That's a pretty hard skill. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. That's not as easy as he made that look. Yep. Nice work. What do you think about the white socks and the red pants? What do you think about the you know, I kind of like to see the same color socks only because his feet show up much more distinctly with the white, oh, baby.
What do I think about the socks? Well, yeah, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's unfortunate about that dismount because that was a beautiful double front. He just was cooking in the air, and he had a little more rotation than I think he thought he had, and he over-rotated and had to do a little donkey kick there. But so that's gonna take a toll on the score. But I like the way this guy swings rings.
Yeah, he used rings to his advantage by putting a lot of swing elements in there. And I think his coach and teammates are thinking, double pike, let's go, double pike very soon, Mr. Alex Catchpole. So, but yeah, unfortunate to have that fall in rings.
See, now these guys' socks are the same color as their pants. Their feet don't show up so starkly contrasted, you know? And I would just, if I was going to give Coach Colin Payne a little piece of advice, I'd say get some red socks.
Yeah, aesthetically, I agree.
Because Mr. Catchpole, if you're listening to this as you watch it, you got to point your toes in that straddle L like this guy did, because your toes were not quite pointed enough, and because of the white socks, they really showed up. And as a judge, I'm going to deduct. So you want to clean up your score, clean up your toes. And this isn't a personal attack. I'm just telling you how to get a better score.
Free advice. Now, Mike, in your years of coaching, do you find that rings tends to be one of the harder events to get a D dismount solidified onto your gymnasts?
Absolutely. It's the hardest, I always thought it was the hardest, yeah. And that one, that young fella just showed us a double back with 1.5 twists, which is a D dismount, a very popular D dismount. And it's not as easy as people think it might be because it's a blind landing. And he did it fairly well. He almost stuck the thing. He was pretty close to sticking it, but not quite. Now this is unique.
Okay, this is
He's
Kyle
facing
Kincade.
the other direction. Kyle is facing the other direction. I wonder if he's doing that so the judges are going, I wonder why he's facing the other direction. Oh, wait, he's doing a routine. I better start judging. That was
Could
really
be superstitious.
clean.
He might like facing this way.
Yeah. He's doing a nice job. He's very clean. That's a solid handstand. A little ring turn in, but all right. He's holding the handstand 2 seconds, which is really nice to see. Oh, big stickaroo. Well done. As our good friend and colleague John Roethlisberger might say, like a toothpick and a club sandwich. So, I mentioned the 2-second handstand. So a lot of times a guy will do a swing to handstand near the end of his routine, and they're getting a little bit tired, and they have to wait to do the dismount for the right proper swing. And sometimes you catch the handstand on the wrong swing, and then you go right away, and you get a 3/10 deduction for not holding that handstand long enough. And this kid held it for a full extra swing, held it for probably 3 seconds, and didn't get that 3/10 deduction. So that was, again, well done. Good coaching.
Excellent points, Mike.
That was another.
So this is Erik
That's a
Engelke.
cross. That was a nice cross. He had his shoulders level with the rings and right down there, right where it's supposed to be. Okay, nice job saving that. And Giant, a little elbow bend. Looks like he might be getting a little bit tired. Let's see if he can knock out a great dismount here. Oh, no! That's that blind landing we talked about in the 1.5 twisting double back. You come up a little bit short. That's a tough one to salvage because if you're a little bit short, you're going down on your backside.
Yeah, you're right. If you do the full twisting double back, you can cheat it around a little bit, low landing with the chest, but you can get your feet down. Now, if you're facing the other way, your body doesn't quite bend that same way it does in the forward direction.
No, it doesn't.
For most of us, at least.
I tell you what, these judges certainly aren't giving away too many big scores tonight. They're definitely being critical, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what you like, right, Mike? You want real judging. How am I going to be judged compared to everybody else, especially as we approach championship season?
Oh, look at that cross! That's a beauty. So near a sequence like this, you can see the ring start to pick up a little bit of swing. And now he's in an L seat with some serious swing going on. Now he's got to control that swing in a handstand, and now he has to bail at the right time to kill the swing. And he didn't quite make it the right time. Let's see if he did this one right time. That was better. He's still got some swing going, though. And that makes a ring routine way more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He found a way to get her done right to the end. He didn't give up. He was in a couple of struggle spots there, but he managed it really well. I'm really proud of him.
That's right. Michelangelo, Villani put it together on that one.
Another masterpiece by Michelangelo.
Yeah, what's the price on that one?
It's Colin Payne. It's Colin Payne walking by, like pulling his hair out. He's gonna look like Craig Holt over there in a little bit if he keeps pulling his hair out like that. That's Craig Holt there is just about ready to lift up. Is this Syam?
This, I believe, is Sabastian Gordon.
Ah, Sabastian. It is assistant coach Craig Holt, who's been assistant coaching down at the Naval Academy for many, many years. Just a solid, super nice guy. A fellow Bostonian like myself. He was a gymnast at Syracuse University, and I think he was there at the time that I think his senior year was the year they dropped the sport at Syracuse back in 1999. This young fellow, Sabastian, has a very good mastery of the still rings. He's a strong kid, very tight core. You can tell his core is very tight the way he did that straight body planche. Very, very strong kid. And you can see the control. Oh boy, I spoke too soon. And overshot that shoot handstand just a little bit, but he salvaged it because of his strength and control. That was a much better performed full twist and double layout. You can see the difference in the position between him and the former gymnast that did the full twist and double layout. That was a little bit pikey. That was much, much more open hips in the body position.
I was thinking the same thing. That was a good example.
Was that the last guy on the still rings?
Yes, we are now moving to the vault. Oh, let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's everybody. We're going to go to vault. And, I like the head-to-head format because of where you lie in the meet. Whereas if you're on two different events or if it's a quad meet, whatever, you don't really know until the very end. But this is head-to-head.
Yep.
And you can see, look, it's only about a 2-point difference there on rings.
Well, I think they're still waiting for that last score
yet. Oh, yeah, that's right. On evaluation, it's coming soon.
Yes, that's going to be about it'll be around a 13 maybe. Maybe a high 12, low 13. So they're going to be pushing about a 63 and some change maybe. And that's going to start pulling them away from Simpson. Simpson's rings, they're actually pretty good on rings, but they just don't have the firepower that Naval Academy has at this point. And as Colin continues to develop this program, he's going to be obviously pushing his guys in the gym to get stronger, better handstands on rings, but he's going to also have to start recruiting kids that are stronger on rings as well. I once asked Tom Gleamy from Stanford, Tom, can you share with me any of your secrets on how you train you guys for such amazing ring strength? He goes, I don't have any secrets. I just recruit really strong guys. I said, oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's a great shout out to the junior coaches that coach everybody that we see in the college system, all the work that goes into these young men that are behind the scenes, and they do great work in college as they're starting to peak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Sabastian, that was the last guy who went up. He tied with Riley Rose from the Naval for 12.9. You know, I kind of said about a 13, so just under a 13 was a 12.9. If he'd have stuck that dismount, he would have been about a 13.2 or so. And good to see. Well, Navy kind of top 4 spots on that one. Simpson had 5th place with Kyle Kincade with a 12.5. They're kind of bunched up, though, all the way down to 6th place, 12.2 to 12.9. And then you had a couple of routines down there, Michelangelo and Alex, that were in the 10s, which kind of bring the team score down. So, those two guys are working hard, and they're going out there getting the job done. And this is where they're at right now. And God love them all, because they're making history. We are witnessing history right now, Jesse. I don't know if you're aware of that. I'm sure you are. But the history that we're seeing is the first, well, actually one of 2 first additions to the NCAA men's gymnastics list of teams since I've been coaching, and I've been involved in the sport since the mid-'70s. And I got to tell you, the athletic director here at Simpson College, Marty Bell, I got a chance to meet him when I was down there judging, and it's kind of funny. He came over, he goes, hey, I understand you went to Penn State. I said, yeah, I did. I went to Penn State. He goes, I got my graduate degree at Penn State. So we were instant buddies, right? And I just had an awesome conversation with him, and I couldn't thank him enough for his, ability to take a risk, and his ability to kind of have a vision, and his ability to be innovative when a lot of other administrators are looking at things the other way, reducing opportunities. And here he is at Simpson College, increasing opportunities. He started both a men's and a women's gymnastics team. He hired Colin Payne and his lovely wife, Emily, who's the coach for the women's team. And I got to tell you, he's Marty Bell is my new hero in the sport of men's gymnastics at the college level. God love you, Marty Bell. Marty Bell for president.
Yes, that's fantastic. And Mike, you've been involved with a lot of athletic departments in different universities, and what a refreshing scenario to go, we're going to add men's and women's gymnastics here. And like you said, I haven't seen it in my lifetime, and you haven't seen it either. So history in the making, 15-man squad, 13 of them freshmen, and its culture had to be built from scratch. There are no alumni, there are no team chants yet, things that
right.
Current college gymnasts walk into, and it already exists. And it's really interesting. You're involved with kind of rebuilding your team, and same with me from starting up Temple again. But it's fun to watch, and fun to watch these 2 new teams do well, Greenville and Simpson. So very fascinating.
Well, I'm not sure if these guys from Simpson understand, the enormity of what it is they're doing. They're just living it as they deal with the day-to-day grind of being a collegiate athlete. But they're building the path that future gymnasts are gonna be coming to Simpson on, okay? And these guys are gonna be the alumni, 30, 40, 50 years from now. They're gonna come back for homecoming, and they're gonna be, in the homecoming parade as the guys who got Simpson College gymnastics on the map. And I don't know if they understand, how critically important their existence is right now. And here's this guy running down. I just want to make my vault, but he's got the whole future of Simpson College. Like he does, and I'm not trying to put pressure on these guys, but how awesome is that these guys are pioneers, like Lewis and Clark. They're going down the river or up the river, and they don't know what's coming around the next bend because they've never been there. And Colin Payne, as a head coach, has never been there, but he's a super guy, great coach, energetic. He's got passion, and he's got, purpose. Every day he walks in the gym, he realizes that, he's been given this amazing opportunity to get this program off the ground, and what an awesome job he's done thus far.
Well said, Mike. Well said. You threw a lot in there, and I agree with all of it. I'm just thinking back to team photos that we have on our team from 1926, and you're saying the first team. This is the first team, and well played. Just to think about the beginning of what will be a legacy for this program. Yeah, these guys are definitely excited, and Navy has groomed Colin well to be ready for this position, and I'm sure it's very interesting for him to have virtually coached everybody you're watching in this meet right now, his former Navy group and his current Simpson group.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, he's connected. He's connected. A common thread is Colin Payne in this particular gym right now. Good for him. All right, who do we have here?
We're getting started. This is Mr. I said it wrong. Buradagunta.
Yep, you got it. Oh, nicely done. Kazumatsu with a half twist, laid out. That was really clean in the air. Took a kind of a big hop, and it looked like he stayed in bounds. If you see those lines, you have to stay within those lines when you land. And he took a hop to the right, forward and to the right, and his foot might have landed on the line. But if that happens, that's okay, because every part of that line is in bounds. If you take a step over that line, it's a 1/10 deduction. If both feet were to go over that line, that's a 3/10 deduction. So it's either a 1 or a 3/10 neutral deduction on this event if you're out of bounds. So who do we have here for Simpson? Who's our first guy up here? Is it Connor
This
Jenkins?
Is Milo's. No, this is Milo Staley, 80 feet down, and here he goes.
Oh, okay. Looks like he might have hopped over with 1 foot, so he'll get that 1/10 neutral deduction. That was a nice Kazumatsu, and looked like he could have driven his heels just a little bit harder off the blocking arm, because it kind of went straight up and had to pike it around a little bit. But really had great height. You see how high he was? Holy smokes, I'm sure his nose is bleeding right now. He's so high.
Yes. Okay, now
Holy
we have
smokes. I mean, this
William.
is the way a meet should go. This is the way a meet should go. Look at that. The guy lands, the score comes up, next guy's going. Wow. Oh, that's going to leave a mark on his ankles. Ouch. Yep. He's stumbling a little bit. Yeah, that hurt. Okay, who was that? I'm sorry.
That was William Champagne. So great form in the air, just too much blocking on the rotation.
Yeah.
And
and the trainer's kind of going to help him back to the team bench there, put some ice on those ankles. That's a stinger. Hopefully, it looks like he's kind of walking it off, but he's still limping a little bit. Sometimes you walk across the floor exercise, by the time you get to the other side, you go, oh boy, that hurt, but I'm going to be okay. But we'll see. You know, that's a bad time of the year to have an ankle injury, because those can be lingering all the way into the postseason.
There you go. That was Connor Jenkins.
That was a nice looking layout, Kazumatsu, and took a big step. I couldn't quite see if his foot went out of bounds, but it might have. So again, those neutral deductions can really start to play havoc with your team scores there. So the key is, hey, stay inside. If you're going to take a big step, try not to go over the line. But it's hard to make that call when you're in the middle of taking that step.
All right, this is Matthew Petros from Navy. There we go. Here's your two twists off the table, stayed on his feet, and I think he stayed in bounds. You know, this angle is a little tricky to identify it, like you said, Mike.
Yeah, I think he stayed in too. I would say if I was judging, I would not have taken a deduction, but who are we to say, right? We're sitting here in our living rooms. So who do we have next?
Kyle Kincade. Kyle Kincade. Here he goes.
That was clean. Yeah, if you see the differential in difficulty, so the the layout Kazumatsu that he just did and his teammates from Simpson did. That's I believe that's a 4.0 value vault, and the Kaz full, which is a double twisting Kaz Suk, is a 4.8. So each of the Navy guys has an 8/10 advantage over his competitor on the Simpson team. So that's going to start to build up as you go through 5 guys on the lineup. Another Kazumatsu full or 4.8 start value. So again, that 8/10 advantage in start value starts to add up, and in we're starting to see some much better landings from the Navy guys, and those are going to parlay into some good scores. The Simpson guys,
Yep.
though, I got to tell you, they're having some nice landings as well. I saw one that maybe stepped over the line, but overall they're landing pretty high. Their chest is pretty high in their landings, and they're doing what they're capable of doing. They're doing it really well. Oh, baby, and there's stick from Michelangelo. Well done, my young artist friend. He is a Renaissance man, apparently.
Yeah,
That was
it's a rebirth.
Yeah, rebirth indeed. Oh, we got a Yurchenko ball coming up. We got a Yurchenko ball coming up here from. Looks like, is this the last guy from Navy? Yep.
Yes, it's Connor Van Loo getting ready to do his round off back handspring onto the table.
Well, this is the guy who was so.
I was going to say, these balls tend to be cleaner coming from the board to the table. So let's look to see if his legs separate coming from the orange board to the table here, or if they stay together.
Oh, that was clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, you're definitely going to get a little bit higher score on a same value vault if you do the Yurchenko style entry versus the Kazumatsu style entry. If you look at the Kazumatsu pre-flight, it's very hard to do that vault without splitting your legs a little bit. And the guys who spend the time and figure out how to do that vault with perfect pre-flight form, that's a huge advantage in the score department. So our final vaulter for Simpson is
Sterling Pariza.
I knew that. I was just testing you.
I passed the test.
Man, he came in short, and I thought he was going to sit down, but he was quick on his feet and moved them fast. He looked like he was doing the electric slide there. He was moving his feet so fast, and he was able to stay upright. Unfortunately, he did step out of bounds over the line, but it's way better than if he'd have sat down and taken a full point deduction. So, well done.
That's right. He said, I'm not sitting down for my team.
No way. So, let's see. It looks like Navy came up with a 68.05 on their vault. We're waiting on the last score for Sterling there. And it looks like for vault, if I go to the vault national rankings, Navy is ranked 9th in the country with a 70.533 average with a high of 71.15. So they're a little bit down. They had that one guy crash, and they had to count that score. So, that was probably at least a point, so they would have been close to a 69. And that last score for Sterling came in, and now the Simpsons team score on vault is 65.7, which actually I think that's a pretty good score for them. Let's see what their average is. Their average is a 67.217, so just a little bit below their average there. But nice job. So Connor Van Loo, the Yurchenko guy, he ends up winning the event with a 14.0, a 9.2 execution score. Then Matthew Petros from Navy was a 13.9, was in second place. Look at all those scores above a 9.0 E scores. So that's pretty good to see that. That's vault's probably the one event. Probably the one event you're going to see the majority of scores above a 9.0 in the execution department. That usually doesn't happen on the other events. There's just so many more opportunities to deduct on the other events.
Yeah, it's usually a high-scoring event, and my coach Fred from Temple always liked to finish on vault if he could to get that last-minute pump up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this meet is going at a frantic pace. I hope these guys are in good enough shape to manage the speed of this event, because if you're not having enough rest between events, if you're doing multiple events, it can get a little tough. Oh, that was a nice peach to support LC. This is an event where a lot of gymnasts need to learn how to count slowly, because every stop they have, like this handstand, for instance, has to be held a full 2 seconds, and he's doing a great job. And nice job with the double pike. A lot of times, like this year in my gym, a lot of our freshmen will be doing their P-bar routines, do front upright swing hand, hold it for a second barely, and do it like 5 times in a routine, different handstands or L seats or whatever. And that's 1.5 in deductions. You have 5 of those 3/10 deductions. So anyway, for you young gymnasts out there that are watching this, if you're going to P-bars, start learning how to count to 4 when you're holding your handstands and your L seats. Because a lot of times when you're in the sport and you're doing it, you count faster than you should. And it's amazing the deductions that you can easily give away, but it's amazing the deductions you can easily reduce by just holding a handstand for 2 seconds, holding your L seat for 2 seconds. So the judges, you know, I hate taking those deductions when I'm judging my guys, but I do it, and I go, man, you had 3/10 deductions for short holds. So this is the event that's the most prevalent on. So again, you junior gymnasts that are watching, focus on your holds. Make sure they're full 2 seconds.
Okay, this is Riley Rose from Navy.
All right, Riley, let's see if you're going to hold those handstands. You did a nice job on that one. Oh, very nice. Peach handstand. Look at how pointed his toes are. Looks like somebody put his legs in the end of his legs in a pencil sharpener. Holy smokes. Really nice toe point on this guy.
Now the key here, this is one of Navy's stronger events. So I believe they're ranked 7th on it, and
yeah,
we should see some good gymnastics.
Oh boy, that was a deep squat landing. Way to stay on your feet. That was impressive. That's the second flip on that double pike was a little bit on the slow side, so his feet didn't quite get underneath his center of gravity enough. So his feet were kind of behind, and he really had to take a big hop forward to stay on his feet, which he did a nice job with that.
Yeah, you can see the coaches are lowering the parallel bars back to the standard, which means Riley must be a tall gymnast, and it shows he hits the ground when he passes through the uprights. So now we're up with Milo Staley.
All right, Milo. Swing handstand, 1001, 1002. A little shifting, those little shifts. Try to avoid those too. 1001, 1002. That's okay. He was doing a pirouette. Didn't have to hold that handstand. This one he's going to have to hold. 1001. Nicely done. Ready for the dismount.
Oh, easy stick.
The green flag over there. I think, did I see the green flag from the judge? I hope so. That was nicely done. What a great way to end a routine with a stuck dismount. That just is like the cherry on top of the sundae, right?
Yeah, it sure is. All right, we're going parallel bars back up again. So we're next up is Vishal Mandava.
So as you mentioned about the parallel bars, as you saw the parallel bars going up, in the NCAA, this is the only place in all the world of gymnastics that you can actually raise the parallel bars for a tall gymnast. Now, internationally, you can raise the high bar and you can raise the rings if you have a tall gymnast, but you can't raise the P-bars. You know how hard it is to raise the rings or the high bar for one gymnast? I mean, you won't let the guy move the bars up 2.5 centimeters on P-bars? I mean,
that's a very good point.
I don't know where the FIG came up with that rule, but I don't know. Somebody must have been thinking some crazy thoughts at that point. So it looks like the judges are ready, the gymnast is ready, coaches are ready to pull the board, and we are ready to watch some great gymnastics. Holy smokes, that was a big boy peach half. This guy has mastered the peach basket for sure. Very nice. Wow. That was elegant.
Yeah, this is smooth.
Yeah, look at very nice handstand position, tall, stable, no movement, double pike, very nice, small hop. Yeah, that was a good set. That's going to be that's going to help the Naval Academy boys for sure. You know, I got to give these Naval Academy guys a shout out because, and not just these guys, but the guys at the Army West Point and the Air Force Academy. You know, these are our future protectors of our land, and I admire the heck out of these guys because they're doing everything every other gymnast is doing, every other college program, but they have a future ahead of them that's you know, kind of risky and scary in some ways, right? The stuff they're going to be doing. And I just tip my hat to every single one of them for what they're going through now. You know, as a midshipman at the Naval Academy, a gymnast under Kip Simon. I'm sure Kip's working them hard. And then with the future of what they're going to be doing once they leave the academy. And I give them all my praise and thank you for your service.
Ditto. Ditto indeed.
Nice job on that D-arm. All right, here we are getting ready for the dismount. Double pike. Oh, a near stick. Very nice. Tell you what, the Simpson guys are doing some really solid dismount work here and almost sticking. That was a near stick, and the guy before stuck, so good for them.
Yeah, that was Ethan Sipos, and I was just thinking it's nice to see these D dismounts off the parallel bars. I remember when we switched from C to D back, I feel like it was the early 2000s or mid 2000s, and a lot of people just had a hard time getting that upgrade. But yeah, I was always stuck with a double tuck on parallel bars. I just couldn't get that double pike at the end of a set. So that's why it's nice to see the majority of these guys getting those D dismounts.
Well, you know what's crazy about our sport? You get these talented kids that are coming in these club programs, like you mentioned earlier, with really solid coaches out there. And they're seeing what the top level guys in the country are doing as seniors, and all of a sudden, that skill level starts to migrate down into the junior level, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you get kids coming to college who can do stuff that, you know, college guys weren't able to do 10 years ago. And it's amazing the development and the evolution of the sport in this country.
And that's the way it should be. So this is Danilo Viciana on the parallel bars for Navy.
Mm-hmm. Very nice toe point. Look at that. I mean, the Navy's, I'd have to say they're known for the toe point now because they're really impressing me with their toe point.
Yeah, it's either that or the socks.
Oh, no.
He tried. He really tried to stay on his feet, and that's what you're supposed to do. He just miscalculated it and opened up too late.
Yep. You know, and those things do happen. And again, it's all about 30 routine. You know, and you go from start to finish, and the final score is what counts. You know, and if you can find a way to absorb a miss like that, all right. So that means the next couple of guys on P bars and the 5 guys on high bar, they got to hit to absorb that miss. And it puts pressure on your teammates, but that's kind of the beauty of being on a team. It's like you accept that pressure from your teammate and you have his back. And I tell you, there's such a brotherhood in a team sport like gymnastics that it's team oriented, but it's like at this moment, it's all this guy. It's a very individual sport right now, but his team is cheering him on, and there's a lot of energy flowing in this gym right now.
Now, talking a little bit about this camaraderie, from what we heard from the coaches, all the guys, Simpson and Navy, had one big team dinner last night, cooked by the Navy freshmen, and talk about some true brotherhood and camaraderie just in our sport, and just respecting one another. I mean, that must have been a nice evening last night.
I wonder what they cooked. All right. Well, he finished that routine. He had a couple of problems in that set, but he just kept fighting. You know, I love the grit that you see in these guys that are, you know, running into some adversity in the middle of the routine, but they're finding a way to just keep on keeping on and getting her done. And that's the beauty of that whole camaraderie we were just talking about. You know, it's like, hey, I can't let my brothers down here. I gotta fight through this, even though I'm struggling. And they're cheering for me. I can feel that power and that energy. It's coming from them right into my gut, man. And I'm gonna do my best to
Yeah,
salvage this thing.
that's right. And you
Yeah,
know,
I was
unlike
talking.
pommel horse. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Pommel horse is a different animal, like you said. But you know, Craig Holt, a coach from Navy, was talking about the trip out to Simpson this week. They're on spring break. They've been out there since Monday, and he said that the team members are all in an Airbnb, and the freshmen have been cooking dinner for the upperclassmen the whole week. So they're learning some. Not only are they learning how to become officers in the Naval Academy, or the Navy, but they're also learning some culinary tidbits in terms of how to feed their fellow brethren here on the team. I think it's great. I would love to have a conversation with some of these guys to find out what kind of food they're eating and what kind of cooks they have in the freshman class.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah.
And I hate to be
Must be a
talking
fun
about
night.
food as this guy's doing his routine, but because he's doing a really nice job here. Another double pike, and oh no! Oh, I spoke too soon again. You know, you start to praise a guy, and all of a sudden he goes down. I got to shut my mouth.
Don't you hate when that happens? Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so
I
what I was
certainly
saying
do.
earlier about parallel bars versus pommel, you mentioned that pommel, you just keep going. You're swinging. You're swinging. You have to bring it back if you're off. Parallel bars,
Yep.
it is similar in the fact that it's a support skill or a support element, but you get to have these pauses in an L or a handstand, take a breath, refresh for the next skill. But sometimes these
Yep.
routines, they just can't quite get their groove. Um, but yeah, the big thing we're seeing today are the overcooked dismounts. I'm sure double pikes and savatos are on the prescription for Monday of what they got to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You look at your workout sheet and go, 32 Sabatos? Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. You better hit them all too.
So this is Alex Catchpole.
Alex has a nice look here. Let's get that handstand up there, Chief. There you go. Wow, that's a snappy peach. I love it. That nice
Yeah, it's nice to
underbar
see the
work. This
straight
guy's a
arms.
swinger. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a high gymnastics IQ on his ability to really hang well through the bottom of his long hang swings.
I knew he's a double front
Holy
guy. He
smoke!
likes flipping forwards.
Yes, he does. He did the double front off rings as well, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a really, really nice P-bar set.
You know, I would find that often the obstacle to doing a front skill, a double front, a straddle 1 1/4, something big going forwards, is often the front uprise right before it. Yeah, I remember it took me a whole summer to figure out how to do a front uprise, which I've been doing for years, to be able to do the skill I'm trying to do that I learned.
Well, you know, when it's funny because when kids start saying, "Hey, I want to learn double front off P-bars," I said, "Okay, well, when you learn a double front off P-bars, you have to learn two skills, not just one." He goes, "What do you mean?"
Right.
Because you got to have a front uprise that's good enough to do a double front. It's like, hey, or another example, I want to learn a Hanma on the P-bars, a back uprise front toss. I said, well, you got to learn two skills. You got to learn a good underbar cast, and sometimes the underbar cast can take as long to learn as the Hanma,
That's right.
and it's an
Now
A
this is
skill
William
versus a D
Champagne
skill.
up.
All right, let's hope we can pop that cork on this champagne bottle here, folks. Come on now. That's a solid looking handstand right there. Oh yeah, Healy to support. Well done. A back toss. You don't see that skill much anymore. Oh, that was nice. Rode that arm up really nicely. Oh boy, come on now. You're not tired.
There we go.
Oh yeah, near stick on that one.
Good to see. That was Mr. Champagne popping the cork for the champagne battle.
Yes, indeed.
All right, now we
They might be
have
important.
possibly. I'm seeing on the lineup. This must be an all-around spot. I see a 6th gymnast listed. So this is Mr. Michelangelo Villani, probably going for the all-around today.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, Michelangelo. Let's see if he can put together a good P-bar score to get his all-around score up where he wants it to be.
Now, I believe, yeah, this would affect the national rankings. This must be why he's trying to get that all-around score in. Perhaps it's do it under pressure in a competition situation, maybe to get his NQA up, which is the national qualifying average. So it looks like he's going to be doing all 6 today.
Yep. You know, in the all-around right now, you know, most of the guys in the all-around rankings are from teams that are probably going to qualify as the top 12 teams. So this guy's got a very good shot at making the regional qualifying day at NCAAs in the all-around, which is awesome. How cool would it be to have first-year team have a couple of guys at the NCAA championships? That would be a feather in the cap of athletic director Marty Bell
sure is.
And head coach Colin Payne. So good for this guy, man. I'm excited. Come on now, Michelangelo, make us all proud. Oh, a near stick on that front full. Good job.
So it looks like we haven't quite broken into the 13s here, have we, Mike, on parallel bars?
I don't think so.
Oh, no, one score. We have one score, 13-2-5. So mostly 12. So difficult round.
Yeah, I think this judging. Oh, I see why. Look at that judging panel: Tim Michaels, Dan Bachman, Eric Smith, and Brian Cooper. Oh boy, that's a tough group over there. I did my first national judging course in 1983 at the University of Nebraska when I was coaching at Iowa, and Brian Cooper from Kansas came up, and that was when I first met him, and we've been close friends ever since, and it's really good to see him out there. So it looks like the P-bar scores are up. Oh man, Simpson just came just shy of a 60 on the team score, which is really good to see, and not too far behind Navy's 62.35. You know, Navy had two guys fall in the dismounts, right? So that's a couple of points that they're going to give away. You know, when Kip Simons gets back from the DTP Cup in Stuttgart, Germany, he's going to go, "What happened on these dismounts? This wouldn't have happened if I was here." And you know, watch out, guys. Make sure you do a lot of work on your dismounts so when Kip gets back, you're ready to go.
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned Kip's over in Germany. I don't know if we explained what he's doing over there, have we?
I don't know if we did. So Kip had one of his gymnasts, Isaiah Drake, qualify for the U.S. national team at the Winter Cup back in February, and he was selected. Isaiah was to be part of Team USA at the DTP Cup over in Stuttgart, Germany, and he's over there with Kip's over there as his personal coach, and I believe it's a 5-man team. Probably a 5-up, 4-count, 5-4-3 process. You know, 5-man team, 4-up, 3-count. And I want to say, I think Shane Wiskus is there as well. He was one of my former gymnasts here in Minnesota. So that's awesome that they have that opportunity. And you know, Kip, as you may or may not know, was an Olympian on the 1996 team for Team USA, and Nissen Award winner, just a stellar gymnast back in the day at Ohio State. And then he's had just as stellar as a coaching career as he has as an athletic career. And he kind of posted on Facebook that this is the first time since he retired from gymnastics that he's had the opportunity to be on the international stage. So I'm really excited for Kip and for Isaiah, and I wish them all the best over there in Stuttgart, Germany.
Okay, we got Riley Rose to kick things off on high bar.
All right, this is my favorite event. You just never know what's going to happen on this event. This is one of those events where you just don't have a lot of room for error. And this guy is knocking out some beautiful release moves, and just seems to have good control of things, and I got to be careful what I say because anytime I start to praise somebody, they have a mishap. So I'm going to shut my mouth for the rest of this routine.
All right, winding up for the dismount.
Boom.
Good.
There's a stuck dismount.
Cross up the stick.
Yeah, baby.
And,
that's what we're talking about.
I think Riley's glad that you kept your mouth closed because it worked.
Yes, indeed. So I just got a text message from a good friend of mine back on the East Coast by the name of Peter Corman. Some of you may remember that name, but he was well, he's one of my favorite guys in the sport of gymnastics, 1976 Olympic medalist in Montreal, but went on to an amazing coaching career at the Naval Academy. Did some great things when he was there. He was probably there about, I don't know, 8-10 years or so, Peter. I can't recall. But then he went on to become the head coach at the Ohio State University and won a national championship or two, had some Olympians and Blaine Wilson and some others. And I think he was coaching Kip Simons at that point in time. But anyway, it was just so good to hear from you, Peter. Thanks for the text. I appreciate the fact that you're watching this meet and watching your former team and watching this brand new team, Simpson College, just getting out of the blocks and doing great things here.
All right, we've got Camden, Bontempo.
All right, let's get this party going here, Camden. Wow, beautiful Ginger with perfect form. That was really nice. That's one of those skills that's easy to split your legs right as you're about to catch the bar. And he just had them glued together. I would probably, if I was a judge, I'd maybe go check his socks and make sure he doesn't have Velcro between his feet. There we go. All right, nicely done. You know, you can see the difference now between Navy and Simpson in terms of the difficulty level. The first guy had several more release moves, but that was a really nicely done routine. And you know, over the summer they're going to be working on improving the strength and improving the difficulty level, bringing in new guys to train, and it's going to be really fun to watch the evolution of the Simpson Storm men's gymnastics program under a really solid coaching staff here down in Indianola, Iowa. I got to, as I said, I got to judge a couple of weeks ago. I drove down from Minneapolis to Indianola. Beautiful little drive and really a nice campus down there. And this building that they're in, look at how beautiful this building is. It's amazing, and it's completely covered in chalk now.
Yeah, and we did speak with Connie. He said the other athletic teams, they said they were happy to give up some space so men's and women's gymnastics could have a place to compete and train. And
wow.
Again, very welcoming group over there at Simpson.
That's amazing. You know, that's just a testament to the kind of people that are in high level athletics, man. You gotta give them a lot of credit. Oh no, I wasn't even talking about this guy, so that wasn't me. So Coach Craig is going to go over and say, all right, you're going to have to repeat that. And you better catch it this time. And you hear the guys in the background. It's not over. I like that because you know what? Every attempt counts. In a competition like this, maybe they have a pretty sizable lead and, this miss isn't going to really impact the final result. However, they get into a meet, the NCAA championships or the ECAC championships or the USAG collegiate meet, and those are going to count, and they're going to impact your final standings, and they're going to have some tougher competition moving forward. So it's going to be important that they put those release moves on the bar. Oh, nice pike to Tkachev. Good long arms. Good thing he's got long arms. That was a bit of a reach, wasn't it? Oh,
big dismount.
Huge dismount. And a near stick. Think about this. Think about what a gymnast does, Jesse. All right. You flip around 8 feet in the air. You do a double back in the layout position with 2 twists, and you have no clue where you're at. And then all of a sudden, your feet land and you stick the dismount, or really close. That takes some serious cat-like reflexes and some pretty insane abilities. And that's the beauty of this sport in terms of the reason I love it, because it takes a certain type of person to be willing and able to do the kind of stuff that we're asking them to do. And let's see how this young fellow does.
Okay, this is Noah Placente. Again, he'll have to give us a call for saying his name incorrectly later. And you can hear the team is still pumped up. This is the 6th rotation. Sometimes the team gets a little tired and drained, but you can still hear them very audible in the background and jumping and excited. So,
oh boy, here we go. Dismount, baby. Come on now, make it. Atta boy. Nice job. Look at Coach Matt, man. He's happy as can be. Wow, that's
every guy has their own story.
Every guy has a story. That's a really, really good point. You know, who knows what each one of these guys has been through to get to this point in terms of their career. You know, injuries or mishaps or things that kind of make you go, I don't know, I want to do that again, you know, but you kind of just get back up and you get up back on that horse and you find a way to make it happen. And that's the beauty of dealing with adversity. You know, this sport can serve up some adversity in some serious doses. And, you know, it takes a special person to be able to get back up and keep at it. We've got a lot of special people here on the floor tonight.
For sure. Now, this is Matthew Petros, 3rd guy up from Navy.
Yep. Oh, boy, here comes some big releases. Nice layout to Kachev. Really, really nice position. Look at that turnover, Jesse. That's nice.
That's what you want to see.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful Stalder. That flying giant is becoming a very favorite skill for a B-level skill, and I love it. Oh, no!
Put the hands down.
Okay, I'm sorry to be so upset, but that was such a beautiful set. I hope he fixes that before the next competition.
Hey, you know what, Mike? You know, as we watch this, you mentioned about the difficulty. We're watching from Navy. And just to stop and take a moment and go, wow. I mean, the 3 military academies have really ramped up their rankings in gymnastics the past 10 years or so. I mean, it's really impressive to the coaching staff of each of these 3 military academies doing multiple Kovacs, D or E dismounts. They got a guy on the national team over in Germany. This is big stuff.
Unbelievable.
And this is Ethan Sipos on high bar right now.
Okay. You know, the other night we were talking to Coach Craig Holt from Navy, and they took out the Navy team went out and did some axe throwing as a team activity. I'm not sure if you remember hearing about that, but apparently Danilo Viciana is the Navy men's gymnastics axe throwing champion. And I asked Craig, I said, well, Craig, you know, how good is he? He goes, yeah, he was really pretty accurate. I said, did he ask you to stand in front of this target with an apple on your head? And he goes, well, he did, but I decided that would be a really bad idea. Although I thought maybe the haircut he got, maybe he really did stand in front of that target.
Yeah, we're just hoping that's not a new team tradition. Who knows?
Well, congratulations to Danilo for being the axe champion, axe throwing champ.
Yeah, gave him some good momentum into the gym meet today. And this is Erik and Engelke on high bar right now for Navy.
Oh, man, that was nice. You know, this event's a lot like pommel horse, right? You don't have a chance to stop. So if you get off a little bit, you got to find a way while you're still swinging to get back on track. And that's not an easy thing to do sometimes, especially when you're, 8 feet in the air, flipping around and trying to find the floor. And here we go for the dismount, full twist and double layout with the stuck dismount.
He found the floor.
Yes, indeed. Look at that. The guys are jumping off the rafters, coming down to cheer his teammate on. I love it. Just hear it.
We have, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, listen to the crowd. I'm not sure the crowd is that big, but the guys on the team are making enough noise to make it feel like we're at the Super Bowl here.
Yeah, that's college gymnastics. That's what you want to hear. It's what you want to see. That kind of intensity.
Yep.
So, again, these guys must be having a blast.
Indeed. You know, we're getting to the end of a long season, so I'm sure, you know, their bodies are a little bit banged up here and there. But like you said earlier, when that guy did the donkey kick on the floor, it's like, you know, his adrenaline is kicking in. He doesn't really feel it. Might feel it tomorrow, but that a boy. All right.
Yeah, this is Milo Staley we're watching.
You know, when I was down here a couple of weeks ago, I got to judge high bar. I was the head judge, and it was just fascinating. And you know, it's my favorite event. It was the event I was pretty good at, and it was just fun to see. You know, everybody's trying to do the same skills pretty much, but they all have different body types. They all have different you know, strengths and weaknesses and how they swing. But really, the key to this event is can you hold yourself in a good supported handstand at the top, and can you hang really well at the bottom of your swing? And if you can do those two things, you can do a lot of good stuff on high bar. And usually the thing that kind of gets in the way is the desire of the gymnast to try to fight gravity. The force of gravity is one of those things that's constant, and it's a force that if you try to battle it, you will lose that battle all the time. So if you can learn how to relax to the bottom properly and hang and then stay firm over the top, this event becomes not only easier to do and easier to kind of excel on, but it becomes a lot more fun when you're able to do some big level skills and do them with excellent form and kind of a certain level of just elegance, if you will.
I like the way you worded all that, Mike.
Thanks, Jesse. All right, another big release. Oh, right on. That was nice.
We're watching Giovanni.
Twist. Oh, really?
Good. See, he's too excited. He's trying to interrupt my introduction to who this guy is. This is too exciting to watch. Oh, that was good, Flying Giant. Yeah. No, I'm saying this guy is exciting me. I can't even finish saying who it is. It's Giovanni Gambatis.
He's a Region 4 boy from Wisconsin. Yeah, they've had several guys from the Milwaukee area go to the Naval Academy. And he's just another in a long line of. Look at him. He's got a little heart palpitation going there. I think he thought he was going to be close to the bar or something. But nice job. You got a high level of difficulty with the Kovacs and the Coleman, and nice full twist and double layout. And he looks like he's happy to be done.
All right.
Is this our last guy up in the meet? Oh, my goodness. Okay. This meet has flown by. I know. This is an hour and 43 minutes at this point. This is a really fast-paced meet. I think the judging format with the 2D judges and the E's that are doing both, you know, all the routines, I think this is a great format because it gives you that head-to-head competition feeling. And so I don't know if you saw him lift that gymnast up, and he took a couple of extra swings before he did his thing. I don't know if he had too many swings there, but it looked like he might have. Here we go, Coleman.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Come on,
Hold
baby.
it off.
You just keep on going, baby. Yeah. Oh, he's got more in the bag. He's not giving up yet. Come on, pull it over there, attaboy. I love it.
He's got the big tricks.
Michelangelo, you got my vote for a big heart gymnast. You know, when he starts to clean things up a little bit, this guy's going to be a danger to the NCAA national rankings. I love what he's doing, and you know, he's just got to clean up a little bit. Oh, yes. Oh, that would have been great if he'd have stuck the last guy up in the meet, right? Well done. I tell you what, he's got some big boy gymnastics going on there, and you know, Colin and Matt, the coaches down there, are just doing a phenomenal job. You know, you can tell they're still a little rough in some spots, but I really love the passion and the energy and the enthusiasm the guys are coming to the gym with every day. Look at that. Everybody's giving Michelangelo a big hug going, dude, you stayed on and you nearly stuck that thing. We love you.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right. In 50
years, Jesse, in 50 years, I'm sorry to talk over you, but in 50 years when these guys come back for their homecoming and they get their, you know, 50-year Letterman's pin or whatever they get in 50 years. It's going to be so fun to see these guys, white hair and beards, and coming in and just reliving the glory days. This is the creation of glory days right here. Bruce Springsteen would be proud of these guys.
And the neat thing is this presentation will, I'm sure, be archived, and they can watch it 50 years later in some way, right? And relive this very first season, the last regular season meet where Michelangelo is high flying, catching his Coleman and his Kovacs, staying on the bar, and just having a good time.
Yeah, and then when they pull this out of the archives, they go, "Who are those two knuckleheads commentating?" All right, we got the final scores up. It looks like Simpson comes in with a 57.05 to Navy's 62.8. So you can see, like, on an event-by-event basis, there was obviously a differential that was adding up as the meet went on, for a final score of 381.85 for the Naval Academy and a 346.4 for Simpson. But really, this is not about the score or about who won or lost, because all of these guys are winners out there tonight, Jesse. And I got to tell you, my hat goes off to all of them for doing what they're doing, because it's a labor of love. And, it's a tough sport. These guys picked a sport that's the hardest one to do. And I love what they're doing. I love the passion they come in with, and just really happy to see what's happening.
Yes. Why don't you give us the recap of this says floor here.
Okay, it looks like starting on floor to go through. So Syam was the champion on floor with a 13.65. Nicely done. Onto the pommel horse. Syam takes another victory with a 12.65 on the pommel horse. Apparently this Syam guy is pretty darn good. And Sebastian Gordon takes the lead, actually tied with Riley Rose on still rings with a 12.9. And then on the vault, Connor Van Loo with his Yurchenko double twist for 14.0 and a 9.2 execution. That was a nicely done vault. On the parallel bars, Vishal Mandava, 13.25, takes the victory over second place Riley Rose with about a 6/10 differential there. And on the high bar, Giovanni Gambatis, Region 4, baby, 13.2 with a high-flying, exciting routine on the high bar. Way to go, you guys. And, let's see, do we have an all-around score? I haven't seen an all-around score yet, but we'll see that hopefully soon. But congratulations to all these guys. And, hats off to Colin Payne and the whole Simpson College Gymnastics program and the whole college down there for what they're doing. And, having the Naval Academy in for the whole week for training during spring break must have been so cool, because spring break can be kind of a dead time on campus, but they must have livened it up a bit, especially with that axe throwing competition last night.
That's right. And the total recap, we have Navy wins with the 381.85, and Simpson's got the 346.4. And that's the last regular season meet. They're heading into postseason. USAG Collegiate Nationals next. Oh, Mike, why don't you give us the all-around totals here?
Oh, the all-around. Okay, Milo Staley wins it with a 66.75, followed closely behind by Michelangelo Villani, 66.05. That's awesome. Those were the only two that did all 6 events. Syam was third in the all-around, but he only did 4 events, and he was down quite a bit below with a 51. So good for Milo and Michelangelo. What I'm hoping for happens here, Jesse, is the fact that these two guys have enough scores under their belt in the all-around that they can actually qualify into the NCAA Regional Championship. It's going to be held at Penn State this year, the third weekend in April. I believe it's April 14th and 15th, right around IRS tax day. So get your taxes done before you go to NCAA, guys. And hopefully they'll be able to, represent Simpson College Gymnastics, first year in existence at the NCAA Championships. How awesome is that?
Yeah, more history for year one. So that was it's an exciting meet to watch. Great to be here with you, Mike. And I want to thank Team Virtius for creating this platform and going on a risk of bringing you and I on board to do a little commentating. So I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys watching live and watching the post game enjoyed it as well. But I'll just send it back over to you, Mike.
Well, what a great opportunity for you and me both, Jesse. And like you said, we got to see each other last week, and at the NIU Invitational with our GymAct teams. And, it's just so good to see gymnastics alive and well at the college level, and kids just, doing what they've been doing their whole lives and having a chance to do it, excuse me, at the next level. And, a lot of these kids dream about being on a college team. And now these guys are living their dreams right now. And I think it's just awesome that, again, Marty Bell, the athletic director at Simpson, I just got to continue to give him a big shout out. Love the guy. And just he took a risk. He took a risk when nobody else was willing to do it. And, you mentioned the Pictor Group and Sandy Hatfield Club, along with John Robinson from Nebraska, doing just the yeoman's work in terms of getting these new programs up and running. And who'd have thunk 10 years ago that we'd have 2 new programs, but here we are. Growth is happening in men's gymnastics at the college level, and it doesn't happen without a lot of people doing a lot of work behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and having passion and desire to provide these opportunities for these kids. So you Simpson kids, man, I love you all and really appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good, solid work, and just make the rest of the country proud of what you're doing. And I don't want to leave out the Naval Academy. Guys, solid team. You had a couple of mistakes here and there, but you still put up a good score. And you had a tough panel of judges right there. So they weren't giving away scores too easily tonight. So you earned every tenth that you got. And good for you guys. And have a safe trip back to Annapolis, Maryland. If you've never been to Annapolis, it's worthwhile taking a trip down there. It's the most beautiful place in the country, I think. And boy, oh boy, hats off to you guys for what you do on a daily basis and what you're about to do as you graduate from college and move on to the next stage in your life as an officer in the Navy.